And then Savitri says, all Savitri listening in a tranquil heart. So Savitri heard all that thing in her quiet heart all the while, you see. This young girl of hardly 20, she's, see, to the harmony of the ensnaring voice. So that it's a very sweet voice of the Supreme Himself, ensnaring, but it is catching her, you see. A joy exceeding, because it is ensnaring voice, therefore it is exceeding earth and heavens poured down the bliss of an unknown eternity, a rapture from some waiting infinite. So the infinity is kind of waiting to pour itself down here, it's waiting for that. A smile came rippling out in her wide eyes. Oh, you are offering me that, you see. Her eyes, you see, the smile is coming to her eyes, you see, not to her lips. Smile came rippling out in her wide eyes. In words, the whole body, her soul is receiving that thing, and the happiness of the soul is expressed always to the eyes. The happiness is expressed to the eyes, you see. Therefore, it is through the eye that smile is. This soul is smiling, happy, open to the waiting infinite bliss, and that is expressed through her eyes. See, we had the similar expression earlier. Very beautiful, very poetic also. Book of Love, 104.1. 104.1. Satyavan is making advances towards Savitri. They are met in the forest and is making advances. They have recognized each other and they are ready now to join into each other, you see. So Savitri is hearing all that thing, so she is extremely happy. So happy that allured to her lashes by his passionate words. Her fathomless soul looked at him from her eyes. I mean, her eyes have become so beautiful. The eyelashes, because of this love speech of Satyavan, she has become so sweet, so beautiful, so charming that her soul from deep within is attracted towards the eyelashes. Allured to her lashes by his passionate words, her fathomless soul looked at him from her eyes. You see? Smile came rippling out in her wide eyes. Coming out, you see. Its confident felicity's messenger, as if the first beam of the morning sun rippled along two vacant lotus pools. Vacant two lotus pools. Her eyes are lotus pools. Lotus pool, that is Lochana. Rajiva is lotus. Rajiva Lochana, eyes. Ripple. You see now, as if the first beam of the morning sun rippled along two vacant lotus pools. What poetry, you see. Morning sun is there and the lotus pool is kind of stirred and the ripples are moving on the water there. With that speech of the Lord Himself in that form. See. Now, vertically, you see now, you have got ripple here. You have ripple here also. See. Very close to each other, rippling along two vacant lotus pools. But this line by itself is a very charming line. See how many else are there, rippled along to vacant lotus pools. The liquidity of the line is there. See. liquidity of the lines there. The liquid flow there, rippled along to waken lotus pool, or else makes the flow very liquid, you see. So that is why, although this ripple and this ripple are very close to each other, the effect is lost. It is not there. It doesn't impede the flow, you see. O visitor of man's soul with life and death. Now, therefore, she is addressing you have been assailing man with life and death, with pleasure and pain, with day and night, and you are offering this to me. O visitor of man's soul with life and death, and world's pleasure and pain, and day and night, tempting his heart with the far lure of heaven, testing his strength with close touch of hell. So, what are you doing? You are tempting him, you are also testing him. Tempting him with the lure of heaven. You are testing him with the touch of hell. Tempting his heart with the far lure of heaven, testing his strength with a close touch of hell. Well, in fact, that is why the hell is there. That you really acquire enough strength to overcome hell. Man has to build up that strength. Then only he can qualify himself for the divine power to come and live in him. If he doesn't have that strength, no chance. I climb not to thy everlasting day, even as I shunned the eternal night. When she met him as death, she destroyed that eternal night. She didn't succumb to that. When she is now meeting him as bright visitor, he says, I will not accept what you are offering to me. Even as I shun the eternal night. To me, who turn not from thy terrestrial way, give back the other self my nature asked. I am not going to turn away from the terrestrial way. You want me to come to heaven and live there in that happiness. I am sorry, I am not going to accept your advice. It's not compatible with me at all. I refuse to accept that. To me, who means me, turn not from thy terrestrial way. Now, what is the terrestrial way? The way of the mortal. He says way. Which is the terrestrial way? The terrestrial way is the way of psychic evolution, of growth, expansion. That is what happens here on the earth. It doesn't happen anywhere else at all. I am not going to live this way, the terrestrial way. The evolutionary path which is there, it is that which I am going to follow because it is the psychic path. And therefore I will follow that. I am not going to turn away from that terrestrial way. In heaven, it's not there, so what's the use of it for me? To me, who turn not from thy terrestrial. Now, this path, earthly path, the path of evolution, it is his. It is he who has built this path. And I am not going to leave that path. Not from thy terrestrial way. It is you who have made this path, evolutionary path. And you want me to come and stay in heaven? Wrong advice, bad advice, ill conceived advice. Because it is a terrestrial way, therefore I want him back. Satyavan. The fulfillment is there. The truth soul has to be here. Without that, I can't do any work. Back the other self, my nature asks, thy spaces need him not to help their joy. You're always there. Why do you want him there? He is required here. Thy spaces need him not to help their joy. Earth need his beautiful spirit made by thee to fling the light down like a net of gold. That is what the earth prophecy. See. Earth is the chosen place of mightiest souls. Earth is the heroic spirit's battlefield. The forge where the archmason shapes his works. The forge where the archmason shapes his works. It is here that things can happen here. Now, yes, earth is the spirit's battlefield. Earth is the chosen place. Earth is a significant center. Earth is a significant center. This is the only place where evolution is possible. Therefore, it is a chosen place. It is a significant center. And at the same time, it is a battlefield. There is a constant war, day and night, here on earth. Ratrandina Amad Yuddhacha Prasanga. That is a line from a Marathi saint. He says, there's a constant quarrel day and night here in this world. Ratrandina means day and night. Yuddhacha of war, of quarrel. Day and night is constant there, prasanga, always there. Earth in heroic spirits, yes, but we have to battle all that. The forge where the archmason shapes his works. Now, this archmason, I don't know. Archmason is, in the Freemasonry, he is the highest type of mason who does his works, no? In the Freemasonry. There are 4 types of masons. He is the highest mason, most qualified with signs and symbols and all that he knows. And whatever he has to build up with those stones, he builds up with that, you see. That is what the archmason does. But I don't know, masonry, can that go with forge? You see. Can that go with forge? Forge normally will go to smithy, you see. Masonry is the building work, you see. The forge where the archmason shapes his works, I can understand. We are molding and all that thing. So maybe this A stands for Supersmith. Supersmith. Hephaestus. The Greek god Hephaestus. He is the one who molds things, shapes things like that, you see. And there's a long description of how Hephaestus made the armor for Achilles in one night, and what powerful, beautiful armor he had made for him in one night. The lame god, Archmason. The forge where the Archmason shapes his work.